America, good results. We had Goldman Sachs beating expectations as well. JP Morgan, not so great. Mixed picture on the financial front.
But the US banks are up like enormously so far this year. So I know we're only 1 month or half a month or whatever it is into the year, but we've seen enormous increases there. But it turns out the market's waking up to the fact that they can borrow money at 0% from the Fed and lend it to people at, between 5 and 30% and make money. Who knew?
Oh, forget about the risk that you take on, right?
Well, they're not allowed to be as risky as they were in the past. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, the results have been coming through in line with people's expectations. They're a shadow of their former selves back in the 06-07 period. But I don't know, maybe somewhere around here, these banks start to be attractive investments again.
We saw fantastic bond auctions from France and from Spain today.
What a surprise.
What a surprise. Well, I mean, some good news also from the IMF in yesterday's session, and the debate heating up with regards to the debt swap with the private sector from Greece. So that seems to now be heading onto a stable path, we hope.
Because everybody was concerned that basically all these European nations would get locked out of the credit markets, unable to fund their rollovers and any kind of short-term money without having to pay punitive, extortionate, horrible rates. But it turns out that in this environment there are still plenty of pension funds and insurers and all sorts of other people that have big regular fund inflows in an established economic environment like Europe that need to put the stuff somewhere. And what are they prepared to buy or happy to buy or looking to buy? European sovereign paper.
So here I am going to tell you about a piece of negative economic data out of the US. Housing starts down just over 4% for December, but weekly jobless claims, I'll give you an opportunity to give the cheerful news. So
the weekly jobless claims, as I've been droning on, is the one stat to look at because it correlates very strongly with the US market. So that's came through a little bit high last week. It comes out once a week on a Wednesday, currently 3:30 in the afternoon, but it changes in our winter. And that number was sharply lower. In other words, fewer people showing up to claim unemployment benefits. That's good news. So that's why the market's been up.
Those have just given up to go because they...
No. Remember, like 90% of people in America that want to work are working. Only 5 to 8% that want to work are not able to, etc.
So what earnings... Yeah.
But you're right, the jobless housing thing is like, so the market was up a bit more, now it's sort of only flat. So this is the daily ebb and flow. Absolutely.
Any other earnings that you're really looking forward to? I'm sure Google is one of them.
Yes, so we're heavily invested in US tech stocks like, Apple and Google and Cisco and all these others. So we look forward to these. They come out once a quarter after the market this evening. Microsoft, a stock a lot of people love to hate, but it's got that excellent gaming franchise, the Xbox. And then Google, of course, one of the most exciting companies in the world, blah, blah, blah. They all seem to do well, and we'll see, because that'll be after, the close of the market at 10 o'clock tonight.
And I know you were watching the MPC rate decision, Paul, because I know it's so important to you.
Interesting. No, they did nothing. So I had to be reminded.
Did you want something?
It had to be reminded that it was on. People were, being cheeky and rude again, as usual. And I'm just concerned that they met for 2 days, and they only came up with a decision to do nothing. Can you imagine
Giokos did say it's an active
the wastage in terms of tea and biscuits, a whole 2 days of meetings, and they did nothing? But I guess it's better than the Limpopo government that lost 2 billion rand, so, we'll cut them a bit.
Reserve Bank Governor Giokos did say the fact that we did not move does still mean that we have, of course, embarked on an active decision. Active decision. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us.